All right, so as far as the Chevy Colorado ZR2 Bison package, I've not been fixated on this by any means. I'm a Ford guy, Ranger guy, but I grew up Chevy.
Okay.
So my understanding is the AEV is what makes this special to be the Bison package over the regular ZR2 because of the bigger tire, wheel, beadlocks, the front bumper.
Yeah,
the rear bumper.
Boron steel bumpers, front and back. It's dummy proof. Whether you want to hit the dunes or hit a curb, the truck will handle it perfectly fine.
What about the shocks? Are the Bison
DSSV suspension?
Is this over the ZR2 or that's the same?
It would be the same as your standard ZR2.
Okay, but is it lifted up higher than a ZR2?
Yeah, it's a little bit higher just due to the wheel setup. It's not actually anything in the suspension components, but you are going to sit higher off the ground. Higher clearance, and then to check that clearance you get the cameras underneath the truck as well.
I've seen that. That's so cool.
It's pretty cool.
Now, what is the horsepower on, like, so the Ranger's like 415 or 20 or something like that. Do you even know what that is? Like 380, 370?
I know it's 370 off the top of my head, but I won't guarantee that for you.
Okay.
So when we set up your Chevy points, by the way, one of the cooler options that they just released for the 2024 model year is now that you have rock guards on here, they actually have running board inserts. So you can take them off or just reapply them real quick. It's one of the better options that Chevy's come out with. But you get a slightly different interior with the AEV. Just the stitching, the floor liners, little things here and there, but it does give it more complete feel for an off-road truck.
Right, okay. Yeah, and it seems like
the big old spare in the back that's actually the same wheel and tire setup as your standard wheels is always nice rather than just having some BS donut.
Right. And what's really cool is it does have the flare. So like you go back 10 years ago when the Colorado was released, and I was really trying to get one, but I couldn't get accepted at the interior. This does look so much nicer from what it was.
Everything's intentional now. You have less just boring plastic in the truck. You feel a lot more of the space with the camo. I mean, even the bed's more intentional.
Wow, that is so cool. This is really nice. You know, I got to my YouTube channel, and some of my YouTube subscribers are going, man, you better check out that Colorado ZR2 before you buy that Ranger. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I'm so glad I spent all night last night researching. I did.
That's awesome.
So it's just really incredible how this is kind of all played out. And so for Ford, it's the worst in the engine compartment. It's the rat's nest. I can't believe on the Ranger Raptor they don't put a nice cover. So if you don't mind, pop the hood. Because it's so cheesy on the Ford side that they don't spend the money to put a nice cover over that engine where it's a rat's nest.
Same with like the Broncos where you can get
exactly
the V6 in it. No.
Yeah, I've had all the like the Raptor. I've had 2 Raptor Broncos and all the Wild Tracks, and so this is just so much cleaner.
Are you pretty familiar with the 2.7?
No, see, here's the thing. I went Ford, big time Ford back in 2017. The Raptor truck converted me from all my Ram and Jeep and Chevys. I went all Ford. Okay. So I've been away from Chevy per se since about 2018. And
except the real performance cars.
Right. I mean, I've had the GT500s, and I've got the Hellcats and the Red Eyes. Okay. I've had a lot of that stuff. So I really have been in tune with the Colorado, even though last summer I was really possibly looking at GMC with the new, because it's a fresh and redesign for 2024.
Yeah.
So it's all, and I think they did a great job. It's really clean, really sharp. So no, to answer your question, I do not know a lot about the 2.7 motor. I know about it in the Ford, but not the Chevy.
Well, I mean, it's different when you have a 2.7 liter V6 compared to a 2.7 liter i4. You can normally rev them higher. They balance out nicer. I mean, little things here and there.
So that's interesting. So I wouldn't have known what you just said. So this is, which I know that, but I didn't really think about it. Because you're going from a V6, this is the 4.
Yeah.
Twin turbo?
Single turbo.
Turbo.
So they call it like a Vorgel design, where you have essentially 2 turbines in the center. So your air comes in every 180 degrees to get you the most efficient spin possible.
Okay.
So it spools up really quick, and you'll hear that when you get to drive it.
Does this feel, spirited, free-spirited, pretty good?
It feels a whole lot punchier than your standard like work truck Colorado.
Okay.
Which, even though it's the same engine with slightly modified ECU, obviously, you're getting a different tune in there. And the fuel delivery system slightly different as well.
I love this color, but what is the name of the color?
Radiant red tint coat.
Oh my gosh, that's complicated. I want to remember that. So many words.
It used to just be red.
Right, but so my understanding from looking at the MSRP, the Maloney sheet, that when the
label.
Right, when the truck comes in, you actually add the sidebars.
Yeah,
or do you? So the side steps are not steps, but the rock crawler protectors, what do you want to call it?
Actually.
Really?
Yeah, so it doesn't come in on those wheels already. It comes in on ugly little steelies.
Oh, wow.
For transport wheels, which you can imagine why. I mean, you have a transport truck bringing it up from not always the nicest part of certain cities.
Yeah.
You want to get them added after the fact.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so we have to put those on. We have to put on the rocker guards. And then when they first arrive, I think the wheel is just like laying down in the back, like it's just tucked into the trunk area. It's not really set up, ready to go, ready to rock.
Is this a two-step tailgate? You know, where it folds out or something?
No, I mean it's an easy release tailgate, but it's not going to be the full.
Okay, I mean I'm not
for those in the Colorados yet.
But what is this right here? Oh, that's what I saw.
Yep.
Okay, well that's cool. Gotcha. Nice.
So
okay.
full size in the bed as well for you. But I mean, this is what I was talking about when I said Chevy's just gotten a lot more intentional with their designs. Not only do you have like the measurement stick in the back, but even just like the little plastic in the top having the outline of the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, that's
Chevy
really
took
cool.
Blank plastic and turned it into a pizzazz opportunity, which I really appreciate, rather than just more blank plastic. Like even little updates in here, just so it holds less water, you get slightly better grip on there. I mean, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, and the AEV relationship with Chevrolet. So what does the AEV stand for? Do you know?
Not off the top.
Okay, it's Adventure something. But okay, so now it has the rear. What's this thing even? It's such a modded vehicle. Is this really much of a tow vehicle at all?
I mean, for the little things here and there, you want to pull a trailer out when you go off-roading, yeah, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to tell you to take your boat off-roading, you know what I mean?
So you think a 3,000, 4,000 pound capability? If you don't know, it's okay. I'm curious.
It's supposed to be in the 6,000 range.
Really?
I mean, when you have it geared out the right way in the Silverados, it's towing almost 10,000 pounds. It's the same engine.
Right. Well, it's more about the suspension.
The suspension.
Okay.
The gear.
All right. Is there underneath storage here? Is there? Did I pull up on that? You can do that.
So it's off to the side, actually.
So I got a little area, little bit, not much. So that's interesting. Okay. What about the other side?
Yeah, both sides are going to lift.
Okay. Well, you know how a lot of vehicles have that storage area. So to push it down, just do that. Does this come forward, or does that stays like that?
This stays like this. You can get like a slight movement forward in Silverados, but in the Colorados, they just moved the safety latch system up top.
Okay.
So for car seats, because you know when you go off-roading, you want to take your kids with you.
Okay, has a sunroof. That's really cool.
All the rear sliding windows are going to be manual.
Okay. All right. So here's my rubber. Here's my nice protection here. Cool. So it has a nice rubber mats already included.
Following forth with that pattern of having the Rockies on them, if you notice the mountain range on the left side of the mats, it's the little things that go a long way.
Okay. Now getting in and out. So it's always interesting in these higher vehicles. It's like, what are you grabbing? You know, so if you're like me, I mean, I'm not the shortest guy, I'm not the tallest guy, but I can get in it. But, so here's the real question. I don't think it'll have the highway cruise.
The adaptive cruise control?
Well, it has adaptive, but does it have highway cruise? That would be so
Super Cruise.
Yeah, Super Cruise.
No,
That'd be so badass.
It doesn't have Super Cruise in it. It would have the blacked out top on the steering wheel right there.
Okay.
I find it funny, actually, that Chevy's slogan for a long time was "Find New Roads," but Super Cruise only works on highways that are already like predetermined by Chevy and mapped out. So they changed the slogan of the company. Even "Find New Roads" anymore.
Wow. All right, so
yeah, power on up for us.
She revs up. If she has that burly fit, you all right? Are you okay?
I want the black Ram turbo diesel.
Well, we can do that.
It's sweet. That is sweet.
You think you can get a deal? Are you serious?
I really like it.
Yeah, but it's just, is it 80 grand or 50?
I know if it's 50, I'm thinking real hard on it.
That's awesome. Hey, remember you said in the video you didn't come here to buy a truck?
I know.
This is funny.
Turbo diesel, man.
Oh, buddy, that'd be awesome for you.
2,500. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
We'll check it out.
I found a truck that I love better than my other truck.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be nice. That'd be awesome if you could pull that off, Bob. Well, we'll check it out. You want to ride with us?
No.
Okay, keep an eye on Kiefer.
Yeah, I keep an eye on a dog.
In the stash.
Yeah, in the stash.
The stash.
The money.
The cash stash.
The money. You have money.
Oh, the duffel bag?
The duffle bag. Yeah. We just we just don't look at any crime or any police alerts.
Yeah,
it wasn't us.
It
wasn't us. I promise. All right. So does this thing have? Let's get driving down the road. You be researching that while he's doing that, and then when we get back, we'll talk about
51
that.
for the Ram.
That ain't freaking bad.
So it's a question of how much yours is worth. That's the challenge.
Well, mine's only worth about, trade-wise, probably 24.
What do you owe on it? 50.
28.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We
got something to look around. Okay, well, we can. We may
look
get
at it and see
you
what
may
it
get
is.
2 for deal.
We'll figure it out.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
He's a
I mean,
cancer.
half off.
Bob is a cancer survivor.
Oh, okay.
He had stage 4 throat cancer July of last year, and he overcame. If you understand
Stage 4? Yeah, that's crazy.
He shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And he's clean. He just got checked again. He's totally clean. He's
That's
a great
good,
friend of mine for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
So, and it wasn't for him coming to my house this morning to get something, I wouldn't even be here.
See that?
If I got the wife involved,
Yeah, 51. See that? I brought you a customer, so you'll have to do better than 51.
well, he will. They will. They'll take care of you. I'm sure we can make something work. All right. It feels like this thing has a heated seat.
It does have a heated seat.
But where the heck?
Heated seats all at the top. So this is one of those things where Chevy's becoming more intentional. If you're familiar with like the 2010 generations of stuff, Chevy was known for button wear. Over the course of time, 2 years into your car, you'd have like it fading away to like green and then just like blank white plastic. So now your most used buttons are all going to be that like resin lamination on top.
Okay.
I'm a big fan. Now this is what I was talking about with those cameras earlier.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
So we're going to have all different types of views around the vehicle.
Really? Well, it's in demo mode right now because I didn't want to do anything until I didn't want to, until the deal is finalized. I didn't want to take out demo mode.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So
We'll set that all up for you.
So this has the auto. See, most people have no clue how to use auto air. The auto automatically makes it right. If you don't put on auto, you're fighting that all the time. So then we go to the cooling to get ours to sync. Where are we on this screen to find? Nope, that ain't it. So where's the screen to tell me to manage? Oh, here it is, climate. So how do we go to sync? There it is, right there. Okay, cool.
You also have the button down here to the right.
Oh, there you go, duh. So we'll see. But I'm brand new to this product.
Yeah.
I'm very abreast to the Ford products. So in this is probably a manual. Move this. It is right there.
Does the Ford do the front and rear locking differentials in the
Raptor?
Yeah.
I think they do.
Okay.
I think they do. But I'm not going to be able to answer that honestly.
Well, I know their biggest feature these days is electrical issues most of the time. So
Yeah,
I wasn't
right.
sure what they were doing mechanically.
Yeah. Well, all right. So now let's focus on the
drive.
people that are watching my channel today. They're going to be really excited to see this. Because I drove the Ranger Raptor the other day. Over here is your great. This has electric brake control. So that's really good. It's already set up for that. Because that's, that costs money if you don't have that, to add that in.
And it always looks cheesy when you add it later.
Right. And so the auto off is off. One thing that's really great about the Ford product is the driving modes of sport mode. Oh, here you go.
Yep.
Okay, so this has the same thing, normal, off-road, tow haul. Does it have like a sport mode? Or is it more just Baja, terrain, tow haul? Off-road, normal. So it's interesting. So like Ford has sport, which is a huge difference. It opens up the ECM. So this is just apparently already always opened up.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to swap it back over to that Baja mode, I think that's where you probably get the most aggressive timing within your engine and transmission.
Okay,
Because
right.
obviously,
Okay.
you want to get up and boogie when you're there. So
Okay.
Chevy's big thing that they're really excited about with these is now you have air down mode, so you can actually set different tire pressures. So,
Really? Get out of here. What are you talking about?
So when we slide
You can
down
change the tire pressures.
So what ends up happening is if you want that better grip, you can take this all the way down to, let's say, I feel comfortable at 25 PSI.
Wait a second. Hold on. You're saying right now the tires are deflating.
No. Tires aren't deflating now. So what ends up happening is as you go down and let the air out of the tires,
it tells you. It alerts you.
The truck's going to signal you every time you hit your set PSI.
Yeah, by beeping.
Yeah.
Okay. So it doesn't have its own air compressor set up into the tire
No,
wheel.
it's not going to just automatically do that.
Okay,
That's a real cool idea for the next gen, though.
Yeah, it is. All right, so now, why am I still feeling like I've had a heated seat? Because my got a big old butt. Let's see here. So now, this is my biggest gripe with Ford, is when you have the parking brake. So on my Rams and my Jeeps, Grand Wagoneer, Grand Cherokee, TRX, when you put the car in park, it automatically puts the e-brake on. When you take the vehicle out of park and you step on the gas,
It takes it out.
It automatically releases it. Does Chevy do that?
So it doesn't automatically turn it on for you. You still have to, but it does automatically turn it off for you when you hit the gas.
And that's something that, wouldn't you think they would just the e-brake? You'd have that option in your settings for auto E.
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I drive a manual every day. I normally don't forget to turn my parking brake
There,
on.
I can only imagine. This is the manual. All right, so should we take a drive?
Yeah, let's take a drive.
All right, and Bob here, my good
Let's not
friend.
hit Bob.
He's really excited about that, and that's a really nice truck. So he's a big Ram guy. I gave him one of my trucks so many years ago. I gave him a Power Wagon.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He used to drive around all the time. That was back in like the 2000 years. All right, so I didn't really check the mirrors, but whatever. And here's Bob. This is so classic. Bob was like, "Nah, I'm not going to go to the dealership and then buying something. You know that?" I'm like, "Well, I wasn't planning on that. You're just taking me to go get something." All right, so far, she feels peppy. You know, that's going to be, and that'll be the challenge. I've been a guy that's owned the Ford Bronco Raptor, the Ford Wildtrak 2.7 V6 twin turbo. So it will be very interesting to see if this thing has the gusto feel that those other do. Okay. And I come through this area all the time, but I don't know this back road right here, like you know it, so I'll take the commands of what you want to do.
Hop in the center and punch it.
Well, for me, it's I mean, it's a 4-cylinder engine, everybody. So is it peppy? Yeah. Is it get up the road? Yes. Would a Ranger Raptor beat it? Probably. So if you're going for the most brute force, I think the Ranger's going to take this. But if you're going for the look, I really think this looks better than the Ranger Raptor. I mean, I think this looks much more snazzy. I think it looks much more. Should I go up further or take a right here?
Go up further. We'll merge back into the center lane.
So you want to get on 95? Is that what you're thinking?
No, if you merge back into this lane,
yeah, I get it.
It'll keep us up 7.
So for anybody here, this is really so far just at low speeds, heavy traffic. It is a nice truck, but does it give you that Raptor feel as far as power? No. Does it give you the beefy feel as far as a really cool niche mid-sized truck? Yes. Is it very comfortable so far? Yes. So part of me says I should have gone on 95 just to see this thing rolls down the road. But what's your thoughts? Now here's something that's a real good question. My understanding is Chevrolet and another company, they're taking a negative position towards Apple and Droid because they're sick of hearing people gripe about this being the problem when they're like, this is not the problem. The problem is the device. So my understanding is GM products are no longer going to support the Apple Droid interfacing. Is that right or wrong?
So our first vehicle has actually already come out that won't have Apple CarPlay in it with the 2024 Chevrolet Blazer EV.
Should I go this way? Should I go this way here to get out of this? Or is this not going to be that bad?
I don't see this being that bad, but if you want.
But where do we go? What does this take us to?
So I was going to take you to a road called Red Line Road. I've always called it Red Line Road, though, because you get a nice quarter mile on it. But it's got some twists, turns, bumps. You can feel the suspension.
Okay, good. All right, we'll do that then. Okay, great.
Dig in hard on the steering angle. Okay. And then you'll get to play around with that gyroscope you got in front of you as well.
Okay. So anyway, does this generation have that new?
Yeah, you'll still have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in the Colorados.
Okay.
We're seeing the integration come out in the EVs first without Apple CarPlay.
Okay. So that's cool because for me, I'm like, what a bummer.
Yeah, it's a bold choice.
Right. I'm just surprised they don't keep the options available where you can activate it, deactivate it.
Well, they're trying to say it's an efficiency thing and they have a system in-house that's built out to be better, but I think it's a cost thing.
Yeah, well, in some ways, a liability. Because you fight your freaking phone to interface to things and you get distracted. And I'm sure it's a lot of argument. People get caught with their phone in their hand as they're sitting here trying to get it to reactivate to the damn car.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And that's what kind of Apple CarPlay's always been fighting against, or that was the goal.
Okay, so this is a Google Maps.
Yeah, so it's Google Maps based.
So it's Google on its own, not interfacing with your phone.
Yep.
That's interesting. How much did Google pay for that, right? Or how much did GM pay for it? Which way does it go, right?
After your first 3 free months, it turns into a subscription-based system. So
that's when
I
you
don't
go to
know
Waze.
Who's paying who?
That's when you go to Waze.
Yeah.
You just interface. So does this Bluetooth without USB connection?
Yep.
Waze. Do you know that offhand?
So that would come through your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto system. That wouldn't be directly through the Google interface.
Right. So what I'm saying to you is, if I have my Apple phone on right now, do I have to hardwire to get my Waze to pop up, or
Nope.
does it Bluetooth and Waze pops up?
It'll Bluetooth in.
Okay, good. Because that was a huge thing. You go back to 2017. That's one thing that drove me to Ford. Ford was one of the first companies to let you interface Waze to your infotainment center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were the first. And I go to Florida and Tennessee all the time, and I trailer my cars and motorcycles. And so between Ford's interface of the Waze on the screen and the massaging seats and the adaptive cruise control, and I'm towing stuff, oh my gosh, huge. When you're driving 14, 15, 16-hour days, 1,000 miles, that really made a huge difference in you being able to go the distance with not being as tired.
I can see that.
And so then I love the Blue Cruise. A lot of people don't like this stuff, but I live on the road, so I like the hands-free driving. I'm used to it. You got to manage it, but a lot of people are anti, but I'm like, no way. All right, so we're going straight or
We're
making a
gonna actually
left?
turn right up here.
Okay. So yeah, so once again, oh, that's great. So the Bison or just the ZR2? But the
ZR2.
Bison is less.
Turn right here for me.
So you showed me 6,000 pounds, but is that the Bison package?
I told you about 6,000 earlier.
I think
so
I think the
pretty
Bison will be
smacked
down
up.
a little bit. It's not a big deal. I've got heavy duty trucks. I'm just trying to get an overall view. So this truck here, it rocks. It really gets down the road.
You drop about
flawless.
5,500 pounds.
Okay.
And that's
awesome.
probably just extra weight in the wheels and tire setup alone, you know what I mean? You're not
Right.
adding a full 500, but...
Right. Oh, this thing's so cool. So this thing feels beefy. It feels manly. You're not getting the exhaust note out of it because I don't see anything here where you can change the exhaust note. So you're not going to get that like you do on the Ranger Raptor. But as far as the way it feels, it does feel like a really cool, beefy, the manly truck. And that's do you want to feel manly or girly? Right? I mean, isn't that what it's all about?
I mean, absolutely.
And that's why this truck is so cool, because it's manly. I mean, come on. I mean, if this thing doesn't look manly, then I don't know what. And I don't disagree. A lot of my subscribers have reached out and said the Ranger Raptor looks ugly. And you know, I will say this by far looks better than the Ranger Raptor.
Do me a favor here.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to end up turning left. If you see where like that red and purplish sign is,
Yeah.
that's going to take us onto Red Lion Road. I mean, I'm not going to tell you.
We're going leftish.
Yeah, see this gray
Yeah.
line there? That's what we're going to follow. I'm not going to tell you there's a hill where you can get the truck airborne and really feel that suspension. But there's a hill where you could really get the truck airborne and feel
Well, I'm
that
not gonna do
suspension.
all that.
Hypothetically speaking, of
But
course.
you're saying I'm making a left down here,
Yeah, on the
not
gray
here.
spot.
You don't want to take it right here and
I
then
mean,
catch it
if
over
you
there?
Take it right past the stop sign, it will take you over to it.
So right now, if we went up to that before the fence, we could get on that road.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got to do it because we've been sitting in traffic way too much as the cops come pull me over.
Well, right after the fence, right after the fence.
Are you sure we still get there?
Yeah, it will just cut through a parking lot, which is totally legal.
All right. Well, we got to earn our keep somehow, right?
Turn right.
Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. Well, we've sat in. All we're doing is
sat
sitting
in
in
enough
lights. I mean, come on. I mean, what police officer doesn't break the laws every day? I mean, come on. I mean, do we want to go down that rabbit hole? I'm not going to do that. On the LEO. Okay. So now we got the little side roads here, and we're going to get a little jingle jangle bouncing up and down the road.
A little bit more time to sprint.
Yeah, a little more sprinting here. You know, once again, hey, I mean, I've got fast cars at home. And for this truck, it feels really good. It feels really solid, tight, but it's just fun. It's a fun feeling truck. And I just sold my Raptor Bronco, anticipating me getting the Raptor Ranger. Only now to be sitting in a Bison ZR2. Now the hills for me, not excited about that because I don't know what's on the other side of it. I don't know this road. I don't know this road good enough. So, but I'm getting I'm getting the gig, being that you want to get me to get a feel for how this thing eats up the bumps, bounces you around a little bit, not too shabby.
No
and
better off-road test than Baltimore, Maryland roads.
Yeah, or DC. Okay, so yeah, I mean, she feels confident. She feels free-spirited, and she feels nimble. But she also has a nice platform where you feel like you could get in the back 40, and you'd have the confidence that you're not overwhelmed by having too big a vehicle. If you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, because
so this right here would be kind of interesting right there. How's that do right there? So that's not bad for this size truck. Yeah, he definitely put me in the back roads with some fun time here. And it really does eat up the road. And I don't know these roads, so I wouldn't get really too aggressive. I just don't know the roads. And that's what you learn when you crash your car. You need to know the road before you get too crazy. So really cool. And once again, it's eating up the bumps. It's not making rattles, jingles, and you can see if you did go off-road on this, you definitely would have the fun factor of it throwing you around. I mean, because it's going to throw you around. Wow. Really cool. And we're not even in the Baja mode. We're just in the regular normal mode.
Yeah.
So what does the Baja mode do for us? Does that change things that much? What's your thoughts? Terrain, Baja. Select high. Does it automatically go there?
Well, we're going to move it over to four-wheel drive high. So
it doesn't really have to because we're not really in the back road. So does it mean it wouldn't matter if we stay in two-wheel? If you know what I mean. Yeah. So on Baja, what is it? Are we going left or right?
We're going to turn left here.
So the Baja, does it change the shocks? Shocks. Does it change the ECM? Do we know?
It has to do with your engine timing and transmission timing.
So see there, it was lagged. It lagged like now. It's anticipating me busting loose in dirt. So that there, I could feel how I gave it energy, and it didn't. It kind of resisted it.
Yeah.
Is that's part of the idea that you're not spinning in the mud or the sand, right or wrong?
Totally part of the idea. And then you have your Z06, so you're familiar with like Chevy StabiliTrak already, like how it wants to rip you back onto the road when you start to kick that ass end out.
Right.
So you're going to have that same effect within the Baja mode. It's going to upgrade the StabiliTrak system and try to keep you as poignant on the road as humanly possible, or mechanically possible, I should say.
And I'm just going full out. I wish this guy was in front of us because I would go faster over these bumps just to see how she does.
Just to eat something.
If you know what I mean.
And then we'll turn left up here.
Okay. And we're doing a full circle.
Yeah.
Come around. Okay. He's got the pre-planned trip adventure for us.
Normally we only make right turns, actually. Left-hand turns supposedly stress people out. So,
really?
Yeah, you're getting the anxiety-induced test drive over
here. Okay, all right. So back to normal. So it'll be interesting now. And then where did you... Okay, so we're back to two-wheel drive. All right. Which that's cool.
You can see what it's choosing at the bottom left, and then once it's fully transferred, it'll show you in your transfer case.
Okay.
So now we haven't even locked up the diffs yet. Obviously, that's going to be for more off-road applications, but being in the ZR2 rather than having an automatic locking one, like your Trail Bosses, for example, would in the rear, you get front and rear locking manual controls.
Wow.
So those are all going to be selected down here.
Yeah, for the backwood, crawling, all that good stuff. Now,
for the mud.
Right, so as far as, there's something I was going to ask you, which now it's been a total mind blip on me.
Well, I'm sure safety
asking
features
you.
are super important to you.
Right. Well, here's the thing. So it does have adaptive cruise control, correct? That's what the sticker said.
Yeah, I mean,
It does.
95% sure it's got adaptive cruise.
Well, let's see. I mean, how do we find out? I don't know. You might not be able to get there on that. But the sticker says it does. And this here shows you gap adjust. That's it. It does. It does. It has
Well,
it.
that's part of your forward collision alert system.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
So you're not sure then if we have that or
3
not.
car lengths, 2 car lengths, 1 car length.
But it showed it on the MSRP. On your, I think it did.
Well, then it's got it.
It's all right. Not to worry about that right now.
I like to drive my car, not the other way around.
Yeah, I know. We get all that. No, are there side buttons here for the radio or something?
Yeah, so they're going to be tucked on the back of the steering
Okay.
wheel.
All right. Got that. Windows auto up. Does auto up go all the way around or just the 2 fronts?
It's just the driver.
Wow. What's that all about? Does this have the rear view camera? Does this flip up? Okay, but is that an option?
Yeah, that would be an option.
On this package is just the Silverados.
The rear view camera?
Yeah. If you're not sure, it's okay. You got a lot of vehicles.
100% positive. I was looking at that MR2.
Yeah, you like the little stuff.
I like my little Jappy cars.
Yeah, because you can go play with them and you mod them for cheap and have fun.
Absolutely.
Oh, I get all that. All right, so we're not sure on the adaptive, which if you look in your glove box, isn't the window sticker in there?
Yep.
And I swore, but I looked at a lot of different with the vehicles, so I could be wrong. Could be another one. Here's the thing. So if you go shop these things around, they're all priced all over the place because of options. But so far, everybody, really cool. This thing really is a cool mid-sized truck, and I like it. But I will say this: the Raptor truck, I think, is going to give you a little bit more of the exhaust note. I know that for a fact. It will. It's going to give you definitely more of that kick in the butt acceleration. So there's no doubt about that. So if you're more of the page for the exhaust note, the acceleration, I think that you're going to probably be looking at the Ranger Raptor. But we're looking for a different, really, I think, cool looking truck. I just think this thing has the appearance. I think it looks better. I just like it. And I really think the interior is much nicer than I thought it would be. In some ways, I think this is nicer than the Ford Ranger. So for anybody out there that's kind of questioning that, I would honestly say that are we going right here or go through?
We're going to go straight.
I really think that Chevy's interior, believe it or not, even though so many years ago, I didn't think that was the case. I think at this stage it is. And the seat seems to be comfortable. And there you go. A lot of talking, a lot of yabbing. Has a sunroof. Hopefully, does it have LED inside lighting? It's just incredible how all the technology. If you hit that little interior light there over the rearview mirror, is that LED?
No,
it's analog. Still analog. Isn't that something? It's just something on how the manufacturers continue with a lot of old school stuff overall. Now, as far as the Bison product goes, I mean, this is not a dime a dozen type of purchase, correct? Or am I right or wrong?
In terms of allocations, we only got in 2, and we're a pretty big dealership.
So it's not going to be like they build a gazillion of these things.
No, we wouldn't expect a gazillion, not even half a gazillion.
So, but what's your inclination of the value of this? Will this always kind of be a vehicle that'll be special and will hold its value, or it's just another Colorado with a lift kit on it and good luck?
I mean, the previous generation of ZR2s and just blank ZR2s have held their value tremendously. So when you get into the world of like those Bison editions, yeah, they've stood up against the test of time. I mean, those do have the naturally aspirated V6 in there, so a lot of people do have a little bit more comfort with it. But I think as people slowly get more won over by not only what the Silverado's doing, the Colorado's doing, and now we have a modified version of it for Traverses, I think you'll see those values start to even out even further.
Right. So the Bison came into the market.
We're going to turn left I mean, I know they had them in 2021 when I started in car sales. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's relatively new.
Yeah,
I don't
remember seeing anything any older than that.
I don't think that they've been around. You know, I think and it's a danger point too. You got to be careful because you can price these vehicles just way out of the market.
I mean, that's what Chevy did with the ZR2s on the Silverados.
Yeah.
They had a hard time moving those cars a lot just because they were such an expensive 1500.
Right. Yeah, and then you get the guy that will say, well, I'll just buy a Colorado, and I'll mod it myself. But then you're never going to see that money back. There's no way. You know, once you get going down that route, am I parking in the right area? What do I do?
Parking in is your oyster. Looks like you got a couple open spots all next to each other down there.
So you're saying park in a parking spot or park out front here?
In a parking spot. That curve's painted red.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go over see my dog. I got my dog, my friend. So let's go over here so he's closer by. And we'll do a final walk around. And the question is, do I end up buying it? I'll double parked, I'll triple park. So we'll do this right here to kind of give it a cool look, cool view. So the question is, do I buy it? I mean, why wouldn't I buy it? I think this is really nice for what it is. And I love the color. So what do we do? Do we take her? Do we take her? And no doubt, I can tell you, as the Ford Ranger owner and Raptor owner, these are different vehicles.
All right.
Definitely. Bob is wanting to buy a truck. So here we go. Do I do it?